Hello, and welcome to Hearth and Hammer. We are all here together, and we're excited to be here. But we have limited time, so no chit-chat. We're going right to the recap. So
everybody shut up. Let's go.
School is back. CJ, our illustrious educator, has to go back to school. So early morning. So we're going to recap it, and we're going to jump in. Last time on Hearth and Hammer, as the group approached the grand city of Soleera'Costa, they were awestruck by the massive, intricately carved wooden gates, inlaid with rock and metal. Although the main gates were shut, a smaller side gate was open, allowing a small queue of people to enter. The city's stone walls were interwoven with wood, creating an impressive and unique structure. In the early morning light, the towers on the wall appeared to be illuminated by an internal glow reminiscent of lighthouses rather than traditional firelights. The adventurers, having driven through the night and recently battling a troll, discussed their next steps. As they approached the gate, they considered how to present themselves to avoid high entry fees, which had happened as a result of Skull being a baker the last time. Ultimately deciding to pose as mercenaries and show the troll heart and vials of blood they had collected. However, after entering the queue and being questioned by the guards, they were escorted to a nearby barracks for debriefing about the Shade Mist. After answering the investigator, Kalen Sunseer, they were housed in the Gilded Golem Inn, while the officials considered their writ from Fortress Dinosol. After getting their rooms assigned, Skull decided to pay his neighbor to trade rooms, and then promptly fell asleep, exhausted. So, Vigas Amigas. It is currently same day. I would say that it was about noon when you got in there with the investigators. It was about lunchtime. You got an early lunch, and you were probably out of there by noon, 1 o'clock. So you were out and to the Gilded Golem early afternoon. Skull immediately went to sleep after, finding alternate arrangements. Erebus, I don't know what you're doing, but you also are exhausted. Erebus and Skull were exhausted from riding the entire night through, while the others somehow managed to successfully sleep in the back of the carriage. So, but yeah, you could easily spend your 4 hours of rest and try to get there before the end of the night, or you could wait.
And I'm so sorry. Is there any reason why I would be curious about the setting, or am I pretty comfortable where I'm at?
I mean, you're in the capital of the Sun Dwarf nation of Soleera'Costa, Soleera'Costa. Zenelia is not necessarily known for its, bitter rivalry between dwarves and elves. But how do you think that Erebus would feel towards the Sun Dwarfs and Soltrucht? I mean, you've been wandering Zenelia for 100 years. Or more like 80 once you became an adult.
Yeah, I think, and again, I apologize for missing last week, but I think I would just be like cautiously, like observation. Like I'd be observing and kind of staying on the back end, but I don't think I would be in a heightened alert. I wouldn't think that I would be more perceptive.
I will say all the
others.
perception and insight checks that were done last week,
Yeah,
to see how the dwarves were treating you, came back positively.
Okay.
That they were not treating you suspiciously. They were not holding you captive.
Okay.
They were definitely wanted to keep you to know where you were, because you were probably one of the most knowledgeable people in the Shade Mist that had entered the city. Under orders, the guards were basically just, bringing all these refugees in, questioning them, trying to get a real time track on what's going on with the Shade Mist out there, because, there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, so I don't think I would act any different. I'd probably take my 4 hours and be good with it.
Okay. So, Tikatik, Vigo, who was enjoying a luxurious bath, and Loris, was there anything you wanted to do that same day? Do you feel like you would want to wait and try to meet up with everybody? What do you want to do?
So I think as we've been traveling at night some and coming to the city and seeing kind of how they use different crystals to light up, different stones and crystals to kind of light up the area, I think she's got an idea on making something to help her be a better part of the team. I think Tika's going to be working on building a set of glasses, trying to see if she can use some of those crystals to be able to see it dark, to be able to work on that. So I think she would probably be wanting to put together some lenses and mess with them and try and see. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to replicate Goggles of Night, which is one of the things that she can do.
Yeah, one of the things that you can create with your stuff.
So, okay. And since she's one of the few that doesn't have night vision, she's probably, again, taking a look at that going, okay, I wonder how they use those crystals. I wonder how they... So I think she's going to be working that way. So probably as much as she can do on her own, she wants to do on her own, but she's probably going to have to venture out to talk to some people about, to sign with some people about how to be able to complete that. It's kind of probably what she'd be working on a little bit.
Okay. I would say that given your time spent with Wiltix and his kind of like tutelage and instruction that he would have given you, he did give you that book. And I would say as that is one of the entry-level creations that an artificer can make, I would say that he probably had included like designs, for that. So you wouldn't have to venture out to seek out how to do it. And, you could probably find materials relatively close at hand, maybe even, going down to the common room, or depending on what you're using. Are you using the bottoms of bottles or something for your like big bottle glasses or something?
For the lenses,
or something. I'm just saying again, it's a magically infused item, so you could honestly use kind of what you want to make up your use.
So again, I would like to be able to try and tie that to a kind of a scientific thought. That's kind of where I'm going with her with some of this stuff. And so, like I said, I'd like to maybe see if I could get pieces of the crystals they use to kind of light up the night and see if I can use some of those properties in a set of goggles. So that's really what I'm wanting to do, to get as thin of a shaving of some of those crystals to be able to see.
Let's do this. We're going to say that you go up to your room, inspect it, find it to your liking or not, whatever. But then you come back down and want to inquire about the glowing stones that are around. Give me an investigation check.
Yep.
I'll say with a D8 help die at the moment.
Okay. Well, it's 15 without. Let's go ahead and add a D8 to it with 1. So 16.
Okay. So easily enough, you're able to ask about the glowing stone from, whether it's who do you think to talk to? Do you try to talk to the guard or someone in the gilded golem itself?
No, because I don't think I would not look at them as necessarily understanding the science behind it,
Sure.
not to but I just don't think so. So I'm probably looking for some kind of craftsman shop, some kind of craftsman's guild area, someone who has made things, has thought through that. So that's probably what I'm
Okay.
looking for is that. Maybe if there was somebody maintaining the walls, I don't know how often they need to maintain those and whatever else.
Okay.
I may have come across them and said, try to get their attention and sign to them and say, try to communicate to ask them about those crystals and how they work.
Sure, absolutely. So, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said about it once you were in the city, because obviously on the walls themselves, they had the guard towers with the lighthouse-like kind of stones. Couldn't really see them up close, but that's what you saw. Here in the city, it is built into certain parts of architecture. Almost like this brick and that brick and that brick are glowing. So walking outside the Gilded Golem you'd be able to find some. Now,
Right.
as far as finding someone who's maintaining them, I would say with a cursory investigation that you of 16, you realize that it's not like the crystalline lanterns that were in the town that you started in. It's not like the blue crystals. In fact, they're not glowing super bright right now because it is late afternoon. Only when you go into like a shaded area do you see a little bit of a glow. It's almost you, like I said, you do understand that it basically it's part of the architecture, and it's providing this glow, unlike a maintained lampposts or something. So what it does is, though, even though there might be shaded areas like alleys and such, they're still generally not fully in shadow for the most part.
What about inside? Would it be that way inside? Would I've noticed that inside the Golden Golem?
So inside the Golden Golem, no. You would actually the only thing in the Golden Golem that did have that was the chandelier, because there was a skylight that was letting in light and was kind of shining on it, and you could see it. Other than that, it was not. You didn't see it anywhere. Maybe on the. I take that back. If you had gone outside your balcony, you probably would have seen, something like maybe if you've got this kind of stone balcony with some architectural, kind of design that kind of goes up there. It would maybe be like some of the bricks in it, so you could actually inspect them pretty well and see that it is a sandstone like material. It's not opaque. It's some sort of stone that seems to be collecting light during the day and glowing at night.
Okay.
So I would say, you could potentially use them on the frame or something, or if you were going to try to...
I like that. Yeah.
Maybe use the elements of it in some way, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be those specifically as lenses.
I got you. Yeah. I got you. Okay. All right.
So if you want to think on that.
I'll think on that. Yeah, I can see taking, I don't know, some of the dust and mixing that in with some metal to see if it, holds light
Absolutely.
you
Or
know,
even the dust and maybe mixing it in if you were going to like melt some sand into glass.
Yeah, I like that. And
So-
maybe, and honestly, I think that's an even better idea of melting that into glass, taking that
Yeah.
rock shavings, grinding it down, and
The real
making glass
question
from it.
is, are you on your tiptoes on your balcony trying to scrape some off
so
or
I think not just on my tiptoes. I think I'm probably on the railing, like leaning
yeah, totally.
precariously with one foot kind of off to the edge as I'm doing this, with not a care of what's going on. Yes. So
Yeah.
what do I need to roll?
Give me an acrobatics or give me an give me-
Acrobatics. That works.
acrobatics I think is probably the best for it.
That'd be 11. An 11.
Okay. It's definitely precarious, but you're not in danger of falling. But you may have to like figure out a way to try to like reach it to get like a good scraping of it or something later on.
Maybe
So.
I probably drag some furniture from my room out onto the balcony, like just full on making lots of noise. Yeah, it's no subtlety at
Vigo,
all.
Vigo, Skull had gone into the room, and then you had gone into the room, and then Tika had gone into the room on the other side of you, and from Tika's room, you hear this, as he like, as Tika pulls like furniture out onto the balcony, you hear some banging as like the shutter doors of the balcony are like hit and kind of like, kind of thing.
So I'm in my room.
Yeah, you're in the bath.
Oh, this is still okay. Same
Yeah.
night.
No,
Yeah,
he's
same
been in the
night,
bath
same
for a
night.
long time.
I mean, I guess if you're done in the bath,
It's-
you can say that. That's fine. So
No, that's fine. Is there the equivalent of like a? Do these rooms have a equivalent of a hotel phone?
no.
Can I like call the front desk with like a sending stone or
They start killing that immersion.
I would say
Is
I would say
Is there a
there
corded
is.
phone?
I would say there would be a bell that you could probably ring to yes, call somebody up, because this is the
That's
Gilded
what-
Golem. So
That's what I would do. I would
Okay.
probably find a way to be like,
okay,
oh,
sure. After 3 to
my
5
neighbors.
minutes of ringing the bell, you do
too
hear
noisy.
a knock on the door, and a
1-800 collect.
master servant is there and is like, yes, my lord, what can I help you with?
Hey, so yeah, my friend Skull is definitely in that room over there. But these guys over here, there's some weird noises coming from this room, and I was trying to take a bath, and I had to get out of that bath early because of
Are
too
you
much
standing in your
noise.
towel right now?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, totally.
dripping,
Totally wet. Yeah.
and I don't know if I can go to sleep with this kind of noise. Is there anything you could do about this?
Yes, I will ask your neighbors to endeavor to keep it down.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yes. Is there anything else I could do for you? Do you need a dinner, a repast, a nightcap?
A drink would be great.
Very well, sir. And you see him like
God,
wheel a
some-
tray. He like brings this like wheeled tray out from behind the door that you didn't see, and he's like, which vintage would you like? And he's got like too many options for Vigo.
Don't check that ID. Don't check that medieval ID. I don't know if you can drink. I'm not sure.
So
okay.
he
I know
tries
it's been
to
a
act
long
like
time.
He knows what he's doing.
I know it's
and
been a long
asks
time,
for
but
some
he
local
does have his
recommendation.
adult mask from Theorandia. So
I'm not Googling adult mask. That definitely will get flagged.
Nope.
Definitely
Nope.
get
Don't do
flagged.
It's a bad
Don't do
idea. Don't do it.
So I ultimately let him decide, but try and look like I know what I'm doing.
okay.
Pick out a drink.
He
Here's
doesn't-
the recommendation.
He
and
doesn't give
send
you
him
the
on.
cheapest, but it's probably just above it.
Okay.
But then he charges your room for the most expensive. So
All right.
So yeah, I would say
thank
you
you.
get charged. I would say, write this down for later, because not right now, obviously, room service, but you'll be charged like 5 gold for that, even though it's probably like a 1 gold
Will.
bottle or something.
And I assume I don't know yet
No, you don't
that
know.
it's
You
5
don't know.
gold. Yeah.
So
I'll
here's what's gonna happen. Vigo's gonna rack up he's gonna rack up the room bill.
all right. Awesome. I go back, drink my drink, and try to go to sleep.
Okay, sounds good.
As you bankrupt our party.
Yeah. Loris, what are you doing?
Well, I feel like I feel like I don't need to rest. And if I rest long enough to get fully refreshed, then it's going to be like nighttime. Like
I would say
don't know.
for you and Tikatik and Vigo, you wouldn't be able to rest because you have to wait like 12 hours to rest anyway. So, I mean, it would probably be another few hours before you would be going down. So, I mean, like I said, Vigo's just relaxing in his room, drinking some wine, taking a bath.
If it's 12 hours, I would probably eventually wander downstairs and hang
like I
out
said,
with
you got to your rooms probably like 2, or something. So yeah.
So I feel like I want to go out while the others are resting and plan on coming back when they would be expected to be done resting. Um, I kind of want to, in a very general sense, see like what the town has to offer. I'm kind of really curious about all of the large influx of people into the town. I kind of want to ask around, know more about what's causing that. I don't think like we really specifically discussed that in game, and so I kind of learn more about that, and then presumably with this big influx of people, then I would be looking around for like certainly there's some people that probably need a little help that I can help out. Um, we're also quite a bit closer to my hometown than we have been in a while, so I would maybe be looking around to see if anyone is from there. Um, see
Sure.
if there's like if people are kind of settling into little districts of where they're from. That seems like something that might reasonably happen.
So I would say
So,
order of events as far as the party and resting is concerned. Erebus would probably be done by like dinner time, because Erebus only needs 4 hours. Skull
Like a
would
boss.
probably just either sleep through the night, or maybe gets up at midnight.
yeah, sure.
Whether he tells you that or not is up to Skull.
Oh yeah, so that makes
I
sense. So I would probably just plan on coming back for dinner.
I thought we were only doing a
Like,
short rest. That's what we. Is this long rest?
I think you had said you might take a long rest, but you don't have to by any means.
No, I just did short rest and I
Okay.
rolled hit died and stuff for it.
Okay. No, I do remember that at the end there. So that's fine. Then honestly, all of you could meet back down for dinner. Erebus could probably take his long rest, 4-hour meditation, and be down by dinner. So then only Skull would be exhausted. So, okay. Well, we can kind of so do you want to go out before dinner time, you said, and kind of do the investigation?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kinda look
So
around.
give me a. I'd say go ahead and give me an investigation check. I would say what specifically are you going to look for at this point? Do you want to do you want to investigate the refugees,
Information
or do you want to
on
investigate
all the information on the influx of people coming into town.
Okay. I would say you honestly for that one I would say you probably don't even need to roll.
Okay.
It would be a matter of probably going out and not going too far and seeing the refugees. There's definitely an influx of people here. You could definitely easily ask, or overhear conversations that people are coming in from the small villages, that they are either coming before their homes and villages have been burned, or fleeing from shade mist attacks. Not the larger towns, but just the smaller outlying villages and such. So.
Okay. And then in addition to that, then I would probably look around to see if there's anyone from Irodar. and particularly one that I could help, anyone who would need help. From
Okay. Give
if there's
me.
people coming from that part of the
Sure.
area.
Give me an investigation check.
18.
Okay. So you're able to find out that while most of the city is being the capital of the Sun Dwarven nation of Soleera'Costa, that most of, besides the inns and taverns, there's the occasional few crafters and such, but most of the time, foreign peoples will be coming into the city from the main gates, and then congregating around the harbor, because it is a shipping city, or it is a port city. There's a lot of trade around the harbor, so you would probably not. I would say, even though you would probably be able to be pointed in the direction of that. If you want to be back by dinner time, you may not have the time to go all the way down to the port and come back before dinner. But you would probably be directed to, like an Eridar shipping company or something. So.
Okay. So that makes sense. And I would not go all the way down there because I want to stay close to the party. And I don't want to just wander off too much for myself.
I would say this. Give me a history or intelligence check with advantage when asking about them. About the...
Natty 20, so just 21. My
Nice.
history is just a +1.
Okay. So you know exactly who the company is. Whether they have ties to your family, whether they are, you know what kind of business they're supposed to be in. You know about as much, and probably a little bit of inside knowledge because of your connection with, you and your family's connection with business in Eridar. So you don't have to say what that is now, but I would say maybe think about what that connection would be, whether they're, business partners with your family, whether they're rivals with your family. Well, I'm going to let you do that. But like I said, with the natural 20, you know exactly who is operating in the city. So maybe not like the full depths of their business here, but you do know like generally what kind of goods they ship, prominent family members, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, so that's helpful. So kind of a bit to think about. I think that being the case, I would kind of stick close to where we're staying and just kind of see if there's like some refugees that need some help, basically. And if we're staying like in a really nice area, then maybe it's not like directly outside where we're staying. But,
Probably not directly outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but I would probably that's just what I would do until dinner. Since I feel like I have, from what you're saying, I have kind of an idea of the lay of the land of like what's available, and maybe we could take advantage of that.
I would say
tomorrow
with
when we have
your
more of the data available.
exploration that the next time that you wanted to go out, or either by yourself or as a group, and try to find something, I'll give you D4 as kind of a leg up on your next. I think I saw that over here. Let's go this way, kind of thing. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well, it becomes dinner time. You all return to the Gilded Golem. And did anybody else do anything else like in their rooms? Were you trying to do anything? Skull, were you just passed out essentially? Okay. Okay.
Yep. He very quickly I know I haven't lost my point of exhaustion, but he tried to quickly rest and bandage up because he was still pretty hurt.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you let's see. Yeah, so you wander back down to the main hall. Like I said, it has a chandelier that is lit by that kind of glowing stone, especially now as it becomes kind of dusk evening time. The light coming in from the skylight is no longer shining on it, and so it's kind of that bright glow of something that has been in direct sunlight, for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's like still like, like glow in the dark, basically kind of like holding that glow longer than obviously what you'd be used to. But yeah, so it kind of mimics daylight with that. The bar, like I said, is this masterfully crafted single piece of ancient wood from the Soleera'Costa trees nearby. You sit down and you're able to get pints of their sun brew ale, and then are served up some stew and a roast for dinner. So you have gathered back together. What do you like to do?
Ika's sitting there with unexplained new glasses, eating dinner with them on. That's what she's doing.
Perfect.
I picture it with like multiple like stacks of lenses in case she needed to like adjust something.
Are they glasses or are they like goggles? Like,
I think they're goggles, but with like a fantasy like sunglass strap on the back, like a single leather strap, so she can take them down and put them back up, take them down, put them back up.
Of course.
Yeah.
Andre Agassi style.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Are they round Coke bottles? Or are they more like Oakley's? Like full visor.
They're no, they're round Coke bottles. Yeah, they're
okay,
right. Really bad steampunk glasses. Definitely.
So I had to ask you this outside of character. I can't RP it because I wasn't here.
No, that's
so
fine.
I apologize, but if I'm able to obtain some sort of intel about the council, how to approach the council, the demeanor of the council, how to best approach the council with our initial conversations, I think I would pursue that. So DM, if there's a situation,
let me pull it up here because you did get some information on them.
Okay.
Who was it that rolled that? Do you remember?
I don't, but I have
information for what?
The council. Who was it that remembered the council?
I want to say it was Loris, but it was council members were Hyson, Stonekeeper, Arbor Master, Arbor Ward.
There's and
I'm missing one.
Yeah, so there's the High Sun Warden. Or did I say Ward? High Sun Ward? I think it's High Sun Ward. We'll say that.
The Warden.
There's the Stonekeeper, the Arbor Master. The Arbor Master takes care of the natural resources, including like a big natural park within the city. There was the Harbor Ward, I think.
I have Harbor Ward. I'm missing the fifth one. I don't know.
The fifth one was the... What did I say? Did I say solar? Hold on. I'm trying to...
As you're looking that up for the rest of us, do we have an appointment with the council? Like,
so you don't have an appointment, but they were going to try to take your writ for... So basically the guards, they answer to the High Sun Ward.
Yeah.
The leader of the council responsible for guiding discussions and making final. They're also over the army or the guard. So the Sun Wardens are the kind of elite knights in the city.
Okay. Do we know how to earn time with the council? Like, do we know who to go to?
So you
how
do
to secure that?
You do know. I think Loris was able to tell you. There's one option is there's like once a month there's open appointments or court essentially where you can meet with a member of the council.
Is that this season? Is that an option?
But right now, alternatively, you were waiting on the investigator who took your writ to basically go up the chain of command to see how high up basically they needed to invite you, whether it was maybe to his superiors or to this, the High Sun Warden themselves or to the council. So
got it. Okay.
Yeah, basically that's why they put you in the Gilded Golem.
Tracking.
There are 2 guards who remained behind basically to keep track of you all in case they came to try to find you, and also for you to maybe, if you needed to send a message back, kind of act as a page to go back. So that, sorry, hopefully that explains it. I think, did I say Sun Priest or Sun Sage? I think I might have said Sun Sage. Did you write that? Anything related to that? That was the 5th one. The spiritual guide.
I wrote a High Soul Cleric.
High Soul Cleric. That was what it was. It's like you do a search for like what are a bunch of words, and then you put them together. So the High Soul Cleric, yes. Okay. So that you do, like I said, you do have a reasonable expectation for knowing who you will meet with, or not who you'll meet with, but that you should be summoned within the next 24 hours. So.
So are we still at dinner?
Yeah, you're still at dinner.
Are there any postings on walls? Is there anything like any intel
Quest
that we?
board?
Well,
quest
I don't know. Like, no. The reason I'm asking, like, I guess context. As we're waiting, it sounds like we're waiting for somebody to get back to us. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any intel that we can get to garner from inside of this tavern or this establishment? Is there anything that we can garner for preparing for what's ahead?
Give me an investigation check.
You got it. Clicking now. Cool. It's not like working. Okay. $13.
Okay. So within the Gilded Golem itself, being the kind of like fancy inn here in the city, there's not necessarily the same like posted bulletins or anything. You could definitely maybe step outside and see something within 50 or 100 feet. Find like maybe some posted bulletins of some kind or signs. You could potentially ask one of the guards who's there if there's any information that you want to try to glean from them, or speak to the patrons. So,
yeah,
but nothing that you can just glean passively.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and that's all I would do. I would just sit in my chair with the party. I don't think I would go pursue anything, but
okay.
See if there's anything blatantly obvious. Thank you.
How many people are in the...
So as it comes to
area?
dinner, there's a fair amount of people in here. I would say it's probably 75% full. Let's see.
Can you tell me everyone's names, their backstories? and
I mean, you'd have to go ask them.
Everyone.
So,
Do any of them look particularly
Let's role play it.
handsome? Do any of them look? I think that's what Vigo was thinking.
wizardly or sagely?
Oh,
wizardly or sagely? Let's see. Give me a perception check.
Perception. 11.
Okay. The Gilded Golem is, for being the high-end, inn and tavern of the city, has a fairly broad spectrum of clientele. Whether it's there are people of different cultures. It's not all dwarves. There's sailors and merchants and adventurers. You don't see anyone that is overtly just like a some sort of soul cleric or priest or a wizard. There's not like a wizard with the hat or anything. I would say you probably don't notice anyone particular, whether they're there or not. With that.
Okay. My intent was to ask about dragon things again. If not, probably what Vigo would do is look around, see if anybody's playing any games, and pass the time that way. If none, he might strike up a conversation, see if he can get someone to play chess with him. Probably from the party first, and then after that, outside of it, the tables around.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead.
Said I would play chess with him. I'd be interested. I just exercise my mind a little bit and something to do. Pass the time a little bit.
Okay.
Engage with Vigo.
Let's see. You don't really see anyone playing games. It's evening time. There is, some sort of musician in the corner who's quietly strumming a lute just for background noise. They're not performing. It's evening in the tavern, so it's filling up, but there's not like that kind of like games and such going on. So this night at least.
Okay. Hey, Loris, you want to play chess?
Yeah, sure. I'll grab a pint real quick.
Well, what?
Pint of ale.
Oh, got
Oh,
it.
okay. Yes, a flagon.
Yeah. So
flagon with a dragon.
we find a clear spot, maybe at our table, and set up and start going.
Okay. Absolutely. So you guys start playing chess. Everybody else, what are you guys doing?
I challenge Skull to an arm wrestle.
Whoa.
I'm sitting on the sidelines of the chess game and just messing with my lenses the whole time to distract them while they're trying to play.
Can you see the future
I
with
look over and I
those?
say, well,
I
what
would
do you
say-
prefer?
I would
One
say give
or
me
two?
a
One or two?
give me a performance check. Tiki teak.
And
Okay. That's fine. Loris and Vigo, give me a
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's battle chess.
Yeah. Where somebody really dies.
Is that really what we're doing?
Yeah, do Constitution. More for
Constitution?
no, we won't say Constitution.
Check or a saving throw?
A saving throw. But no, don't do that. Do your stats.
If this Constitution saving throw, I'm actually pretty good at this.
Yeah, you are.
+5 for the
I'd
damage.
be dead.
I'd be dead. Give me a wisdom saving throw, both of you.
13.
26.
Okay. Neither one of you are distracted by Tika.
Okay.
You know,
Oh,
there's
because you
always the
rolled like a
chance
10.
that if you had rolled below a 10, then she's going to distract you. Okay, so Skull and Erebus, you guys having an arm wrestling contest over there? Or
I
Skull, what are you
challenge him
doing?
to an arm wrestle. You can-
Apparently, Skull chuckles and he
Becomes enraged.
transforms into a werebear.
I back away and I quit the game. I'm not gonna die tonight.
What does hang on?
Do I notice that
I'm still exhausted. Does
suddenly
it-
Skull has turned back into a werebear?
No, I'm not a werebear. I was joking.
Like,
Are you guys
Um,
gonna arm wrestle on the
limited use.
same table that we're playing chess on?
We're gonna
Right
actually
on the
push.
same
We're
table.
gonna push your board away. and-
Yeah, if it looks like that's happening, I don't know what I would do. I'd
I
probably
would
like
probably
say, whoa.
try to hold the pieces in place.
So a disadvantage on ability checks is what level 1 does.
You might
So
have a
is arm
chance.
wrestling.
This is for
considered
bragging
saving?
rights, man.
It would be an ability check
This is bragging rights.
because attacks and are ability checks as well. So yeah.
Skull's too confident in his strength to not take him up on the offer, even
Okay.
though he's tired. So he'll do a like a little bit of yawn. Why not? I'll amuse him.
Okay.
This is gonna be sad. I'm gonna lose so bad.
All right. So you pair up, set up across from each other, and go ahead and give me, both of you, a strength check.
Strength check.
And do best 2 out of 3. So
And I'm at disadvantage, so I can see yours.
Yep, mine's a 5. So there you go.
I can't roll a 5. I can't.
I have a -1 as a strength modifier.
I can only, the lowest I can roll is a 6.
So there
okay.
you go.
So to start,
You get that one.
to start, Skull obviously kind of beats you to the punch, like you weren't ready for it, Erebus, but you kind of catch yourself. Go ahead and give me a second one.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
11.
Oh, I rolled an 11 as well, but I'm at disadvantage. It's an 11. It's a tie.
Okay.
Just
So you're just
locked
kind of
in.
holding it, but Skull's still got a little bit of an edge. Go ahead and give me one more roll.
This is intense, guys. Here we go. Yes! Yes! Nat 20!
Oh,
Yes!
no.
So
20.
unless
No.
unless
Yeah,
you can
my
get
disadvantage is a
unless you can
13.
get I was gonna say, unless you got like a double nat 20 on disadvantage. So
Y'all can see it on D&D Beyond. I am not
Yeah.
lying.
I see it.
Yeah, it's
I see
there.
it.
Mine
there.
just said 19, so I didn't look at the details of.
okay. Awesome. Okay, well, you Skull is again overconfident and kind of like, oh yeah, I'm just giving it to him. And then Erebus with more speed than strength shifts, his elbow a little bit and kind of poof, and takes your hand all the way to the table.
Whoa! First off, you can't move your elbow in regulation arm wrestling, so he cheated. Definitely against the rules. So
I just stand up and start screaming, yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
This sleight of frame, slender elf, flexing.
Yeah, look at this.
So, is he like literally standing up, cheering,
Yeah,
celebrating?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Screaming like no one's around.
Yep. I'll
Small wins.
stand up, towering over him, and well done. And I'll walk away and go grab a beer and sit at the bar.
And I just sit there, just
Okay.
like, okay. I felt good.
All right.
But
all right,
still
sounds
got it.
good.
Yeah. Check for my ego.
All right. So Skull takes a seat at the bar by himself. You hadn't necessarily like drawn a crowd before you did this, so probably only a couple of people even saw it at this point. But Erebus is like obviously
It's more for
drawing
me.
attention to himself now. So perfect. Love it.
So good.
Okay. Unless there's anything else you wish to do or converse, we can move past dinner.
Who won the chess match? We have to know.
Okay. Give me a. Why don't both of you give me a. Give me a wisdom save.
I think Laura stepped away.
Yeah, looks like
There
he's
he
trying to come
comes.
back. Actually, not wisdom. Let's do
Wis-
intelligence.
Although I
Intelligence.
am
sa-
much less good.
intelligence ability check. Not save. Sorry. Loris, if you can roll an intelligence check.
18.
Just a straight intelligence
Oh.
check.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So like the arm wrestling match, we're gonna do 2 out of 3. Loris, you definitely look to be gaining advantage over Vigo in the chess match, but go ahead and give me another intellect check, intelligence check.
9.
13.
Okay. Vigo, you see a few moves and take a few good pieces, but go ahead and both of you give me one more.
13.
5.
Okay. So Loris does have a hidden strategy in his repertoire and does defeat you at the end, Vigo.
I was going to cast a bonfire on the table if I lost. So
You did not lose, so
it's good that I won.
okay. You all finished dinner and are free for the evening. Do you choose to wander outside? Do you want to look around and see what else is going on?
It's the evening, so I would say, hey, I'm interested in kind of roaming around town and maybe gathering. I think it's still time in the day for like a fact finding missions. If we want to kind of gear up a little bit, I am aware of some traders and some of the goods and stuff that would be coming from my hometown that we would maybe be able to find here to purchase if we want to do that. If we want to do that tomorrow.
We also had a few of you, yourself, I think, Vigo, who wanted to go to the School of Arcana. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, I wanted to go there. Is now a good time to go do a little field trip? See what's going on. If we wanted to start that conversation, or should we stay here and wait for the investigators to come back?
So that school
It's
is on
probably
an
a day
island?
or two across. Yeah,
Yeah.
across the
Okay.
sea.
So we're
Yeah.
not as close as okay.
No,
You would have to board some ship of some kind and probably have a day or two's journey
Okay.
to the island where it is. So
I
they
am
said that.
assuming the investigators are not coming back tonight. It's after dinner time. I'm assuming that they're essentially operating within business hours.
I'm interested in getting a full night's sleep, but if we have the time, I'm cool to walk around town with the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a full night's sleep. I mean, we have,
We just took a
I
rest,
think,
right?
several hours
Except for Skull.
to still walk around
Freaking school.
and then be back here, in several hours, and then still get a full night's sleep. I feel like I'm not
Let's do
sure
it.
how early we're talking about getting up, but I think that we can do that.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay,
Let's
so
do it.
going out
What are we looking
to
for?
search the town in the evening hours, as it is, you leave the Gilded Golem. It is, early evening, but it is, dark, especially in this side of the city. However, the city itself has just a glow to it. Down streets, even down most alleys. Like, there's probably some alleys in darker parts of the city that don't have the soulstone glowing. But for the most part, it's very well lit as a city, and there are still things going on in the evening. So, what is it that you desire to search for? Or do you just want to see what's going on? Like what? Tell me. Give me some direction. We'll go there.
For me, like I'm still curious as who this Zalzar the Radiant is. It may not apply here, but especially once I get to the Majira Arcanum, I'm like in the back of my head poking around for people who I think may have enough history knowledge or
Okay.
whatever to look like they would know something about that guy.
Sure. Are you
dragon.
trying to search for a place to find out more information?
Yeah, but probably passively. So I
Okay.
don't know that I would talk about it to the group and say, hey, let's go find a whatever that would be. I wouldn't even know where to look. But as we're going, I'll probably just peek at the stores, shops, and people on the street to see if anybody just strikes me as like, oh, there's a person over there who looks sagely enough to know these kinds of things.
Okay. Let's see. I would say that you could probably find direction to one of the buildings that house the clerics, the soul clerics. If you wanted to try to head that way, I mean, if you're just doing it passively, I would say you might get some inclination for it, so that whenever you go searching for it later, you'd have like a D4 as well.
Okay. Yeah, so if we pass by, I would say, oh, let's go over there. But if we don't, let's keep.
I would say
being
evening or night almost, it's probably not open to the public anymore. During the evening time, but
okay.
Yeah, I'd say you could definitely notate a location for it.
So, for me, I think given a couple of sessions ago, we ran into, I guess, a ghost of my history. I'm just looking for architecture. I'm looking for architecture. I'm looking for any sort of influence that maybe has permeated into this town, as well as being hyper aware of how I'm being perceived and how I'm being observed. So I think I'm kind of selfish right now. Selfish going through the next couple of hours.
Insight check.
Okay. Rolling. That's not good. That's horrible. A 5.
Okay. As far as you can tell, no one is paying you any particularly extra mind. No one is staring at you or anything. As as an exiled elf of Valenex. So, you feel you're not getting any uncomfortable feelings that sometimes you have associated with how people treat those of you who have been exiled. I would say if you are looking for anything, give me a perception check.
A little better. 11.
Okay. You don't find any architecture. Yeah, I would say you probably don't find anything this evening. Like I said, it's while there's still a lot going on, and there are some places that are open, there's still a fair amount of places that are closed.
Sure.
As people wander home for the evening. You all do notice, in general, as you wander away from the Gilded Golem, there are a lot of refugees from, and you can start to clearly see them as refugees because they're carrying around their possessions with them, not leaving them in the areas where they were able to find some sort of shelter. They are, you find another tavern that looks like it's full of refugees. You can tell kind of like they've got more homespun clothing. Some look like farmers. Others, others look like they're, there's others that aren't even dwarves that are from some of the other towns. You see a few Zatali as well. But yeah, there is a sense of not despair, but of uncertainty in the city with kind of the general populace, at least in the lower, what you might consider the kind of like lower caste of society and the refugees themselves.
Quick question. Do we know the makeup of the refugees? Like, do we know where they're
Mostly
from?
dwarf. They are from Soleera'Costa.
Okay.
I don't know if you still have a map available to you.
Yeah.
But looking at Soleera'Costa, it's the capital is between kind of a mountain forest and the border of Corvinth, which rises up kind of in the hills again. So it's kind of this large harbor that is between mountainous forest and this other area with the large walls. And so it's fairly well protected, but the makeup is mostly dwarf. Like I said, there's some Zatali. There's some from many of the other races, but mostly dwarf. So.
And do we know why they're displaced? Like, are they displaced because of like proactive? They're trying to leave before something bad happens, or because of something bad happening?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah, there are some that have come to seek shelter and find safety because they've, some of the villages that they knew of had been burned to the ground or pillaged, and then you do find some that escaped. You're hearing grisly tales of them escaping as the western part of the town began to be attacked and burned. They fled, able to escape.
So I'm gonna call in the party real quick. Like, hey, everybody, come here real quick. I have a very quick question for you. I know we're approaching this from a council perspective, but is there an opportunity here for us to talk to these refugees and perhaps garner some sort of force or some sort of influence with these displaced individuals? There's cause here, there's motivation here, there's an emotional attachment. We might have an opportunity here to build maybe from a different direction that we haven't really thought of before. Instead of going to the council and trying to get these citywide armaments, have we thought about talking to these individuals?
Like a militia?
Yes.
Yeah, like
So-
forming a small party. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was out a little bit earlier, and there's definitely there, metaphorically, literally, and metaphorically, these are hungry people, and they want and they need to feel and be safe. So there is a potential there. It's not. These are people that have been forced out of where they live. These aren't just, for lack of a better term, a bunch of beggars. So I do think there's an opportunity there, and you know, for the most part, people will be willing to fight against the shade mist. I can say also that I think we do need to be a little bit careful about. This is a big city, and there are people here from other big cities, and as much as we are out on a fact-finding mission and kind of rallying for the shade mist, or sorry, pardon my misspoke there, rallying to fight against the shade mist, we have to be careful a little bit about, there there are spies possibly around. We just have to somewhat keep in mind of that. But I think for the most part, it is. I agree, and I think I'm on board with what you're saying. I think there's a strong possibility there.
I'm looking at the other the other ones in the party for affirmation.
I
think we should. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
My two thoughts are these people, they're untrained? Are they? It seems like they'd need enough passion to overcome that. Do we, as you've talked to them, are they fired up enough? Are there enough of them? Would we be just sending them to their deaths?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, this isn't something that I would just encourage people to flippantly join and do, and send people out to the front lines to be a bunch of meat shields. But you know, it's better than them just sitting and waiting to see whether or not they get killed, which is essentially what would happen with people just kind of huddle up and just hide up in towns and corners and in alleys in the town.
I would rather have a unit of motivated than an army of unmotivated. If they have reason to fight, we can train them. But I think I think this is a two-prong approach. I think we still pursue the council. I think we still pursue this bigger endeavor, but it's not going to hurt to get the refugees on board because they want to fight. They want their hometown back, just like I want my hometown back in Valenix. They're going to want their hometown back. Let's give them direction to their emotion, and let's go both routes. In my opinion,
it's not like every single person is gonna want to join up, and not every single person who joins is going to be a highly skilled fighter. But it's better than nothing, and I think it would make a notable difference.
Yeah. Skull, what do you think? You look like you have a thought.
I think that there's probably some strong-willed people in this group that are exactly like you said, want to fight to regain their homeland. They just need to be given the training and equipment to do so. But not everyone here is ready to fight, nor should they. So exactly what you said. We don't need to try to call to arms everyone, but there's probably a few that are willing to step up. So I'm with you. What's our next course of action? How do we?
DM, as I look among the refugees, do I sense a leader among them? Do I sense a strong, maybe a loud voice or a strong presence among them?
as you see these refugees, while you do see some, like I said, at this one, at a particular tavern that you may have passed, it's not necessarily like there are refugees throughout the city. Give me, I'd say give me an investigation. But go ahead and subtract a d4 from it, just since you haven't.
Subtract a d4.
Yeah, you haven't really. So less than disadvantage, but you haven't necessarily gone out fully trying to seek down the refugees. This is kind of just as you've been wandering through, around, exploring a little bit.
Okay. It has a 16 minus 3, so 13.
Okay. You haven't noticed any leadership from what you've seen so far. It's been pretty piecemeal of people from different places. The one inn that you saw, there were a lot of refugees, but you didn't necessarily go in and start asking for leadership. This is just kind of based off your, your general perception. So.
Okay. So my answer to Skull, I said we approach this in one of two ways. One, it's good information to keep on the back burner. When we have conversations with the council, maybe this is a last suggestion that we provide them. Or we develop a communication strategy and we start passing out pamphlets and encouraging, this mission above, this unification mission that is above their own situation, right? We try to join Vigos Amigos. I don't know, whatever we want to call this. But we start pitching that idea. And so if we do need to pull that lever, we've already started garnering some of that interest. But I think there's two approaches here.
So are you saying these people would join like a caravan of ours as we continue to travel from city to city?
At the very least, give them a purpose. If they don't have a home to go home to, give them a purpose, give them a reason, keep them together, right? We could use them. I mean, they're more of an asset than they are a liability, in my opinion. Or we can pitch them to the council, right? At the end of the day, when we have this conversation with the council here, we can propose that as an option. We take this, we take this army of vagabonds, and we go and we conduct what we need to do with these, with this army.
Ika's really conflicted. She's struggling with it. Like, you're talking and she's thinking and she's listening and she starts trying to, gather her thoughts and at the fort, trained, disciplined soldiers were run over. I can't build them into something strong. I can't do that. I feel like we're just sacrificing them. Like I can't do that. They what hope? Like, she's really struggling with this idea. She don't know him. She don't trust him. It's been a long enough. I mean, hard enough work getting to the point where we're close. And the
that
thought
would be
of
tricky too. Yeah, I would not want to be in a situation where we kind of need to rely on them.
So I look at Tiki Teak.
Consider them as a.
I look at Tiki Teak in my response to her sign language. They either die with us with hope, or they die here as refugees.
Is there not a path for them to already go into the army? I don't know much about this land, but I think it makes sense if we don't have faith in the existing government, or there's not an easy path for the more patriotic among them to join up with an official army and defend their homeland. But what we would be talking about is trying to I train folk. I mean, we have quite a bit of money for equipment, but I'm no leader. I don't know how to do that.
But you're good
I
with
can't-
magic. You're good with
Yeah,
magic.
I can't train anyone in the military, but I mean, I could presumably, if someone was magically inclined, I could.
I
We
think
could certainly inspire them. I
Yeah.
think.
and at the very least, I'd rather have an inspired army, right? An untrained inspired army does a lot. It goes a long ways, and between the 5 of us, I think there's enough experience here to at least make them useful. But like I said, the Tiki Teak, like either they die here alone as refugees in the streets, or we give them purpose and direction and give them a chance to fight for their homeland.
Does it look like these refugees are suffering being in this town? As refugees, or are they being taken care of?
No, they look like they're being taken care of at the moment. They're not. I mean, they're displaced for sure. But they were being processed as they came in, as you saw in the queue, and were being sent to different parts of the city. You don't know the specifics of if they're being given a food ration. You haven't explored that necessarily to see how well or what their accommodations are. You just see them.
Presumably, it's
so.
going to be packed in here. That's kind of my thought and my feeling on it is like not everybody could just file in here and.
So, and it's not like
It's
it's
meant to be
there are still the larger cities out there that you've visited that have not, to your knowledge, fallen or anything. So, but as you continue this conversation into the night, do you make your way back to the Gilded Golem? Or are you having it at the Gilded Golem? Like, where were you having this? Because you were just kind of walking around.
My guess would be we struck up the conversation as we were walking back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure. So you
Give
return
them
to
the
you return to the Gilded Golem and begin to
Arguing loudly down the street.
arguing loudly down the street
It's a
about
dumb idea.
using these refugees. Well, they're gonna die here, or they're gonna die on the battlefield. No, just kidding. But you return to the Gilded Golem and are able to return to your rooms after, further discussion. And we will call it for the evening because CJ needs to go to bed.
No.
So
Just CJ. No one else.
just
is going
CJ, no one else. CJ, brush your teeth and go
Will
to bed.
do.
So
Sounds good.
no, but
Hey, thanks for what you do, CJ.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
teaching, dude. It's freaking awesome.
absolutely. So
Awesome.
so I'm gonna end the stream, and for those of you who may or may not watch, good night. God bless.